Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Resident Evil 0. In the last part we continued further along here in the training facility, finishing off one of the two statues in the process, and we even found the first half of the second one. And now we're heading back to the room where we found the black statue and the shotgun, because there was this ladder up here we didn't climb up earlier. And from here this is going to allow us to access more areas we have yet to be to. This upcoming room is incredibly narrow and hard to get around the zombies in, so you're probably going to want to kill a couple. I would recommend, especially if the two coming up here on the right side are in your way, kill them, especially if you can get it done in one or two shotgun blasts. I wouldn't bother taking the one out behind you at all, unless you don't have shotgun ammo. As, frankly, you could probably outpace it, and eventually these zombies get replaced by another enemy anyway. So it's not worth killing them all. But I'm doing it anyway just because I want to be safe, and frankly, not for nothing, Zero does give you a good amount of ammo to sustain you, even on normal mode. Not the most in the series. I'd say this gives you less ammo than Resident Evil 2 and 3, counting the gunpowder combining in 3. I'd say it's about equivalent to Resident Evil 1 and its remake for the amount of ammo you get for the amount of enemies there are, at least. Because that's a big thing. Like, I avoid a lot of enemies in the original Resident Evil 1, so I have an overflow of ammo. But if I killed every enemy along the way, or more enemies like I am here, I would probably be about the same amount of, ammo stress, quote-unquote. The door is now unlocked. The entire reason I went up that ladder to get to this room was to unlock this door so I have it as a shortcut should I need to use it later. Because this now leads us back to the conference room. Which, coincidentally, my next goal is back over here anyway, because you may have noticed there was a door over there I have yet to enter. That was one of the ones that was unlocked by the podium puzzle in here. And I'm just going to place down a green herb because I'm going to need some inventory space for later on. Notably, one of the few rooms in the training facility I don't enter is in this hallway. And the reason I don't is that it's technically an optional room. I say technically because it depends on where you send certain characters when, in the case a forced split up happens. Because of the choices I do, it's optional and I don't need the key item that's in there. But if you take a different choice, that will change. Worth noting, there is a first aid spray in there. There's also, I think, some blue herbs, which you can cure poison status ailments in the case you run into that. It's the second door later on in this hallway after this one on screen right now. I think I even idle in front of it a few moments down the line just to note it. But I should note, one of the few files in the game I miss is in that room. Most notably, it's the first investigation unit notes file. I'll read it out after we finish our business in this room in specific, just to note what it says. So this rather chest-themed office has a couple of items before we get the main thing in here. Some ammo, I think there's some flame rounds for the grenade launcher over on the left side, as well as some extra ink ribbons in the case you need them. But our actual destination lies at the back of the desk. Just to restate it, if you're using ink ribbons more often than I am, in this particular game, it's actually very worthwhile saving over 2 to 4 sequential save slots rather than the same save over and over again. As due to this game's 2 character mechanics, I think it's a bit easier to get yourself into some harsher health situations than some of the other classic Resis. It's a chessboard. The game appears to have ended in checkmate. Like, yeah, there's a good amount of herbs in the game and first aid sprays, especially on easy mode, but I'd say having 2 characters alone makes it just harder to manage the health. The ammo is not as much of a problem, but it's still easy enough. So we got a chessboard there and a chessboard here. This chessboard doesn't match that one. We need to make it match that one, which requires using Billy to push some of the pieces here and again. I think Rebecca might be able to push these. I'm actually not too certain because I just tend to handle pushing with Billy in this game anyway because they note him as being stronger for that. But I would actually recommend splitting up from Rebecca, like over near where we found the flame rooms in this room, because you might get into cases like this where she's technically blocking the way and Billy won't push the piece all the way around. A little annoying, but oh well. It thankfully doesn't take that long to fix whatsoever, unlike some other games where scenarios like that might take a minute or two. Evil! Well, we got a book of good earlier. I wonder what's in a clearly marked book of evil. This does mean we are getting really close to the end of our first really large key hunt, though. Wait, there's something more here. Marcus's diary, 1, December 4th. We finally did it. The new virus. We have called it the Progenitor. I want to carry it back and start detailed investigations immediately. March 23rd. Spencer says he's going to start a company. Well, I don't care as long as I continue my research into Progenitor. He can do what he likes. August 19th. Spencer keeps asking me to be the new director of his training facility. Maybe it's because of the business, but he's becoming intolerably pushy. But maybe I can turn this to my advantage. I need a special facility to properly explore all this virus's secrets. A place where no one will get in the way. November 30th. Damn that Spencer. He came to complain to me again today. He thinks of Progenitor as nothing more than a money-spinning tool. Fool! But if his influence continues to grow, it can only be bad for my research. If I'm going to properly develop Progenitor, I must strengthen my own position too. September 19th. At last. I've discovered a way to build a new virus with Progenitor as a base. Mixing it with leech DNA was the breakthrough I needed. I call this new virus T for Tyrant. October 23rd. It's no good. I can't help for real progress experimenting on mere rodents. Only humans can be a proper mammalian subject for the experiments. Otherwise, I'll never make any real progress. November 15th. Someone seems to suspect something about my experiments, but perhaps it's just my imagination. Well, if anyone does get too close, they may find themselves unexpectedly assisting in my research. January 13th. At last they're ready, my wonderful leeches! Those of low intelligence, they'll never have the privilege of tasting the sense of joy and satisfaction. Now, finally, I can move against Spencer. Soon I will control everything. January 31st. The devices I set to protect my work have been disturbed. It appears someone came looking for tea in the leeches. Fool. No doubt the work of Spencer's group. February 11th. Today I again found evidence of tampering around the entrance to the labs. If that is what they are after, I must find a suitable way to deal with them. Perhaps I should have William and Albert smoke out the pests. Those two are the only ones I trust, apart from my beloved leeches, of course. But Spencer, it wouldn't end there, would it? I'll announce tea at the next directors' meeting and collect my just rewards. The truth come out, the creator of the T-virus is Marcus. Oh, also, I should address something. I've already been doing some of the second stage editing at this point in the LP. I completely glazed over when we first reached the training facility that they reveal that the leech zombies look like Marcus in that cutscene with Albert and William. So, whoops. Yeah, I can say the actual name of the leech zombies. They're called Mimicry Marcuses. My bad. With that said, we're now technically done in this direction, so we're gonna head back and put that wing we found in the Book of Evil on the black statue. But notably, this is the room over here I was talking about that's technically optional for how I'm going to be playing the game. In there, again, is some herbs, a first aid spray, a chemical canister we can technically not interact with yet, and the first investigation unit notes, which is a file I did not grab, but to read it out really quickly. We're searching the facilities and it looks like a lot of chemicals survived. Fortunately, the storage tanks are still full. We've just started and there's still a lot we don't know, but it appears that the chemicals can be mixed to produce new substances. The chemicals are scattered all about, not because of the accident, more as a result of plain mismanagement. When we reopen the facilities, we'll have to develop a system for dealing with these chemicals. Something is scrawled in the back of the note. Red plus blue equals sulfuric acid, green plus red equals shipping agent. Keep those in mind for later. Yeah, that's one of the only two notes I think I technically missed throughout the entire LP. There's one other one that I think I'm even in the room for later on. I just completely forget to grab it. So, whoops. I try to grab as many of the files as I can in these Resident Evil LPs nowadays. I feel like I didn't do that in some of the older ones, and I think I only kind of went for some of the more famous ones. I think. It's been long enough that I genuinely actually don't remember too well. Turns out when you've been doing this for 12 plus years, 13-ish actually, some things get lost in the minutia. Either way, let's combine those two pieces, get the Statue of Evil, and fulfill the scales at last. And thus a new path is revealed. Now, if I was more comfortable in this game, both with its level design, enemy layouts, and everything, this would probably be where I actually did my first save. But if you're playing along, I recommend saving here basically no matter what, unless you're really low on health and ammo from wasting it on enemies, in which case you might want to reload and optimize where you've been. Because what's coming up can be kind of annoying on a couple of different facets, actually. Whenever you're ready, just head down those stairs. Though I should note, if you are incredibly arachnophobic, you might want to be careful in the next couple of rooms. Shotguns and grenade launchers might come in handy in specific for that angle, unless you're trying to just avoid enemies outright. Because down this step lies an old foe that's been around since Resi 1. You like giant spiders? 'Cause we got giant spiders. They do have projectile attacks as usual, so they can hit you from a distance, but they're also the first enemy type that can poison you in the game. So you're gonna need blue herbs to cure that. Thankfully, this is around the point in the game where they start to show up semi-regularly. I think they are the rarest herb type, technically. But between the two that are in the room I didn't explore, that I was mentioning earlier, and later areas anyway, there's enough that if you get poisoned, you should be fine. Because there's not too many enemies overall that can poison you. It's really just these spiders. I think maybe like one other thing. This is basically the one part of the game I always dread. Not because of the spiders, though. It's because of the next couple events in sequence. I just always find a pain in the ass, even as I know the route of how to do things. On top of what this does for the rest of the facility, is what I'll phrase that like, I think. Got a room over there you can enter, but our goal isn't over there at the moment, at least, because I believe there's a door that's blocking the way. We do got a note in this particular room, though, and, I'd say grim is the way to describe this particular one. Also, something I do like about the exchange system, by the way, you exchange ammo in effectively full clips. So, like, you'll send ammo from one character to another in groups of 15 at a time, which I think is pretty useful. Correctional Institute Inmates List. Matthews K. Deceased. Disposal complete. Midge D. Deceased. Disposal complete. Keith W. Preserved a specimen. Savage C. Transported to research facilities. Royce M. Transported to research facilities. Davids A. Preserved a specimen. Clark A. Transported to research facilities. Ellens J. Transported to research facilities. Terrence O. Deceased. Disposal complete. Kate A. Transported to Arclay Laboratory. Jerry O. Deceased. Disposal complete. Scott S. Transported to research facility. Mitchell F. Transported to research facilities. Carrie T. Transported to Arclay Laboratory. Roberts A. Transported to research facilities. Transported individuals to be deleted from the records. Something about seeing people listed out like that. Ugh. I think that's weirdly when Resident Evil's more unnerving to me is not when there's monsters on screen, but when it's clearly the company just treating people as completely disposable because that's what it does. Because there's something that's scarily realistic about that to me. This room looks quaint. So we got a vent up there. It's a large air vent. Rebecca could probably reach it if she stood on Billy's shoulders. Give Rebecca a boost. Need to do it to progress, so sure.
I'm almost there.
I'm glad I could be of service. Time to go inside.
There's something about, especially the older Umbrella facilities like this or Rockford Island, having outright torture rooms that's very eerie. But also I think weirdly appropriate given what they were originally supposed to lead into. About the power regulator. Due to the recent lightning strike, the power regulator continues to be inoperative. I wouldn't really matter about all the power, except for the fact that the boiler room equipment is on the same grid. The equipment is so run down, I'll probably have to have it fixed up all the time. If you wish to exit rapidly, set the indicator to 70. Check first, though, that everything is connected to the chain. So, you might remember I mentioned there was a boiler letting out some steam earlier. That's going to tie into this. But over here, we got a power regulator, power supply control panel. This panel looks like it'll control electric voltage in the room. Adjust the panel. This is effectively the same puzzle from the original Resident Evil 2. Each of these switches can be flipped up and down, and they'll increase the power meter on the top by the amount listed on the meter above it. We need to get to 70 even. Best way to do this is flip the first one up, keep the second one up, do the third one down, then flip the fourth one up, and the fifth one up. And there we go.
You are wasting your time. I have already claimed this place for myself, which means you are trespassing. And I am very territorial.
It just doesn't make sense. Do you honestly believe this to be the real identity of that crazy young man? Impossible. But if somehow it is true, then Umbrella will be finished.
If the old conspiracy against Dr. Marcus is revealed, Mr. Spencer's career will be over. Not to mention ours, too. So, the time has come at last.
What are you going to do?
I will simply say goodbye to Umbrella. The biological weapon utilizing the T-virus has almost been completed. Our only remaining task is to acquire combat data.
You can't be serious. I refuse to abandon my word. I have finished the research on the T-virus, but I need a little more time to complete the more powerful G-virus.
Do as you wish. I will follow my initial plan and lure the S.T.A.R.S members into the mansion. Their superior combat training should make them perfect test subjects.
Fine. In the meantime, something must be done about that madman. As I recall, URC is equipped with a self-destruct device in the basement. I'll find it, set it off, and annihilate the place to nothing more than a mass of rubble.
I can't. Hold on. Oh.
This section's rough. We now have to reach the new area of the mansion we have access to that Rebecca's in and rescue her before she falls into the hole, which is an instant kill. I think she'll call out for Billy like 3 or 4 times before she falls and dies instantly. I don't know the exact timer on that. I'll see if I can find something about that between now and the second pass. But the thing is, we have a new enemy to fight along the way. Those monkeys have been let out. Those are Eliminators. I hate Eliminators. They are small, they are fast, and if there's more than one, they can pile on the damage really fast. Thankfully, if you know your way through the game, you can get through fighting only a couple of them. So to find where Rebecca is, we need to head towards where the boiler that shut the steam down when she turned on the power is, which is over here, and then follow this path. This is what took me the longest to find on my first playthrough for here, and I lost her a couple times here because of that. I think they maybe could have highlighted the area that the boiler steam went off in the case you hadn't found that before, but oh well. Thankfully, they give you plentiful herbs in this part of the game, too. Now, there's actually another room I completely ignored back there in the first part of the basement, though. When we unlocked the power, 2 doors unlocked. The room to the one Rebecca was in when she did that, and the one in the hallway with the spiders. The other one in the hallway with the spiders, which leads to the room Rebecca was in to begin with, does have some ammo in it, namely shotgun shells, so if you need those, go and pick those up. I don't think I ever do, but that could be worth the extra mile. And here, I think we have 3 Eliminators to deal with, which thankfully I can outpace them, but, God, they can suck. They take, I think, randomly between 2 and 4 shotgun shells to kill, because I think they're one of those enemy types that usually have one of 2 HP values or something like that. I'll, again, probably list that on screen, because I don't remember the exacts of it. Either way, Rebecca's already pretty close to goodbye. Just go down here, and once you enter this room, she is saved. If you know where she is, you can get here in plenty of time, but on a first playthrough, that timer might get a little tight if you don't lose her outright a couple of times.
Rebecca! Hang on. I'll pull you up.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. Just keeping my word. We promised to cooperate with each other. Remember?
This is Rebecca, over.
Rebecca, this is Enrico. Have you managed to locate Cohen yet? Over. Rebecca, answer me.
No, sir. I have not found him yet. I'll continue to search for him, over.
Ooh, you're gonna be in trouble.
Rebecca.
My first mission, and I've already disobeyed orders. So much for my great law enforcement career. Oh well, I probably won't live long enough to worry about it, though. Billy, I just need to know. I need to know the truth. Did you kill 23 people? I'm not going to judge you. I just want to know the truth.
It was around this time last year. Our unit was ordered to Africa to intervene in a civil war. Our mission was to raid a hideout of some guerrilla forces located deep inside the jungle. But the hideout was far away from our entry point. Some died from the heat. Others were killed by the enemy. In the end, only 4 of us survived. Only, there was no guerrilla hideout.
What do you mean?
The idiots in charge had us operating based on wrong information. But we couldn't just go back home empty-handed, oh no. Our leader ordered us to attack an innocent village.
Get rid of them! Kill them all!
Please, sir! Ceasefire immediately!
Shut up! Do it!
So did you execute those innocent people?
Forget about it. Doesn't matter anymore. That was then, this is now. Besides, you said you wouldn't judge me.
I'm not judging you, but it does matter. Look, now my people think you killed those MPs in the van, but I don't think you did. It was those zombie dogs, right? When they attacked the van, you were able to escape. Isn't that right?
You don't get it. I've only got 2 choices left. Either report to the Marines and serve out my sentence, or keep on running for as long as I can. That's all.
In a series filled with horrors beyond our imagination when it comes to monster design, I'd still say that's probably one of the 3 darkest scenes we've ever seen. There's just something so unfortunately realistic about that, especially given certain incidents in certain American wars. But with that, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 7, now that we're in this section of the facility basement, we're gonna explore around a little bit before we head back to the original mansion to see if we can get anything else done there. See you guys then.